Sikhs began arriving in England in the 1950s, when news of the labour shortage following the Second World War had reached the villages of the Punjab. They came here for tough jobs, like working in foundries, factories and mills. After some time, they started to settle in. Gurmeet Singh Bains was one of the many Sikhs who emigrated to England. He arrived in Huddersfield in the 1960s to work as a machine operator. Like many of his friends, he had to leave his wife and children back in the Punjab. At the time, he found it difficult to settle into his new life and learn English.
I read the paper in this our country in Punjab. The English, England put a news for need some workers, driver, machine operators. So I apply to the New Delhi UK embassy. Within 3 months we got a letter. He expect me to reach in this country. So I coming in this country 30 June 1963. I applied the Home Office to the London and they given a permission and call the all children and wife or family in here for 5th February 1966.
Japinder is Gurmeet's middle son. He arrived in England at the age of 11 with his mother, brother and sisters, 4 years after his father. Japinder is now 43 and has 4 children of his own. He owns and runs a large off-licence in Huddersfield.
It was a bit strange when we arrived in England. Everything was completely different. We were introduced to like a mixed school or a mixed class, where there were Asians and people from different countries. We had Asian tutors. From there we progressed on to English schools. We fitted okay apart from the lack of communication, which we didn't know any English at that time. Education-wise, I think we left a bit late when I was the age of 11. I mean, we started from scratch really, started with ABC when we were at the age of 11. So we really had to work hard. Then a bit difficult to progress, but we did try.
My neighbors love with my children, sometime given help to speak the English and show the how to buying the grocery and so many things given my families too much given a help every time. Our neighbors very nice, old people and other people like to my family, children playing together.
Japinder's daughter, Sukhjeevan, is 16 and the first generation of her family to be born in England. She's currently a student studying health and social care at Huddersfield Technical College. She sees life from a very different perspective.
I consider my lifestyle very easy compared to my parents and grandparents because they found it very difficult to come to a different country and settle down because of language difficulties and different environment. They came over here and started school. Well, they didn't grow up into it, they just started. So my dad started school about 12 or something and he found it very difficult because he didn't know English at all. But now he's very fluent in English and he's very good at it. But he found it very hard because that was at that point they weren't wanted in this country. But now they're accepted. I consider myself very lucky because I've been brought up in this country and I've adapted in this country. I've mixed in with a lot of different types of races and it's nice to see that there's other coloured people here than just yourself. But then again there's always that odd racial abuse verbally, but it's nice to see that the government are doing something to tackle problems like that.
The parents wanted us to be doctors or solicitors, same as any other family. But that was difficult, so I studied at college for about 2 years. And from there, I went on to apprenticeship, working for David Brown Tractors. From there, I took my voluntary redundancy because the firm was closing down, and went into the grocery business.
I think I'll have a lot more job opportunities when I'm going into a career than my parents did or my grandparents, because they obviously found it difficult because of their language. I mean, they came over here and didn't know much English, and I've been brought up here, so I'll have more opportunities. Like my dad is a shopkeeper now. I mean, he could have been an engineer or something like that. And well, I can see myself as in a better position in the future than they are now because of I've been educated here. I know the language.
Education is more approachable now. Everything's free. It's more accessible. It's a lot of opportunity. We always try and encourage our children to work hard, progress in life. My life is different to my parents. My parents been really strict religious people, and I suppose we are a bit less religious. And we get to go out a bit more. Where I got my grocery shop is like a mixed cultural society. You get to meet everybody, you get on with everybody.
I always like our country's peoples going to seaside all together and sometime join the English party, very few time, or otherwise I living together, our peoples, that's up. This country's regulation, rules, system, living standard, control, much better other countries, but also I like our country, Punjab, because my birth over there, I love my land, I love my religions, I love my gurdwaras, I love my peoples. I miss, is true, I come in this country just working and make some money and all purpose of the life, so I success in my aim. This country is controlled very truly good, but also the some peoples, cunning peoples, trying to spoil the nation, every nation, English nation. So I think the government should be control it.
Japinder works 7 days a week in his off-licence, but he still manages to find time for his favourite hobby, Kung Fu, and he practices 3 or 4 times a week. Sukhjeevan enjoys more opportunities than the older members of her family to go out and enjoy herself with her friends, but she still has to abide by strict family rules on how she spends her time. After retiring, Gurmeet completely changed his lifestyle. He's given up alcohol and decided to practice the Sikh religion. He now wears a turban and has grown his beard. Gurmeet enjoys visiting the Sikh temple and meeting his friends.